Hello friends, welcome to CC live lectures on analytics in finance. We are going to start this series which is on a very pertinent and very relevant topic of analytics in finance, what we call as financial analytics. Before I move on to this topic of financial analytics, let me give you a brief background of the topic. Why do we talk about analytics now? Because in the fraternity of accounting and finance, we have been talking about financial statement analysis, we talk about management accounting, we talk about different ways of analyzing financial statements, reports and whatnot. But nowadays, this topic of analytics is very much in. Whenever you talk to any professional or any corporate entity, you find there that they talk about either big data or they talk about business analytics. Some people talk about marketing analytics, some people talk about HR analytics, and of course a person from finance like me will talk about financial analytics. So there is a very pertinent question in your mind, there is a very obvious question in your mind, that why do we need analytics in our financial discussions, in our financial discourses, in our financial analysis? Do we think that analysis is not sufficient and we need analytics for that? Before I proceed, let me first tell you the difference between analysis and analytics. When we conduct analysis of financial statements, it is basically a kind of post-mortem activity. Just like in post-mortem, we are trying to find out the reason of somebody's death. Likewise, in financial statements, we try to find out what has happened in the past. So whatever has been there into your income statement or into your balance sheet, we try to find out a relationship among them or between them, and then we of course try to go for some projections. But in analytics, it is a step ahead from analysis. In analytics, we try to go for having a modeling approach. Suppose if I find some data set and there is a data set on any aspect of my business, say for instance it is sales only, and we try to look forward, we try to have a modeling approach, we try to find out the algorithm into that what exactly has happened, and if this has been the trend in the past, what can be the future course of, what can be the face of my sales in future. Analytics is something which talks about our financial informations or data from that perspective only. So the analysis and analytics both are different. Analysis basically looks into the past, and analytics talks about looking forward. I shall be telling you in detail also in due course of my discussion what exactly are the other differences between the analysis and analytics. But this is in brief. I thought that before talking about Industry 4.0 or 5.0, we should first know what exactly is the difference between analysis and analytics. So the agenda of my lecture shall be today that I'll first tell you about need and purpose of financial analytics. We'll talk about the key changes, Industry 4.0 and 5.0, difference between traditional financial analysis and advanced analytics, and after that we'll talk about the meaning, definition and scope of data analytics. So let us first talk about Industry 4.0. When we talk about Industry 4.0, basically it is nothing but the fourth industrial revolution we are talking about. Starting from the first industrial revolution till this fourth, and now we are heading towards the Industry 5.0. Even in the European countries we talk about Industry 5.0. So what is Industry 4.0? Let me first give you a background. The fourth industrial revolution, or what we call as Industry 4.0, basically it conceptualizes a rapid changes to technology, industries and societal patterns and processes in the 21st century. And this is basically due to increasing interconnectivity and smart automation. If we talk about Industry 4.0, it gives a reflection of rapid changes in terms of automation, in terms of interconnectivity, in terms of information revolution, and what are the changes which we need on account of Industry 4.0. That is something which is our point of concern, and business analytics or financial analytics is one of them, which is basically the outcome of this Industry 4.0. And this term Industry 4.0 was basically used by the Klaus Schwab, who is basically the founder of World Economic Forum. He is the founder and executive chairman of this World Economic Forum. And in that conference, he talked about, in 2015, he talked about this term Industry 4.0. And it rampantly, draw the attention of people, and it was very eye-catching that what is Industry 4.0, what are the challenges into it, what kind of changes we are supposed to incorporate into our business operations. That is something which is widely discussed nowadays in the advent of Industry 4.0. And while discussing about Industry 4.0, his assertion was that the changes seen are more than just improvements to efficiency, but they express a significant shift in industrial capitalism. So it is not only talking about this Industry 4.0 is not only talking about the small changes or only improvements into our business processes, but it is basically going to have a drastic change into the industrial capitalism. That is something which is expected from Industry 4.0. And a part of this phase of industrial change is basically joining the technologies like artificial intelligence, gene editing, and to advanced robotics, which is going to make the lines between physical, digital, and biological worlds very much blur. Or you can say, I would not say that it is going to eliminate the line between the physical and digital world. It is not going to eliminate, of course, but yes, it is going to make that line of difference blur. There might be certain situations where you will find that there is no difference between the physical world and digital world. Nowadays, after this pandemic of COVID-19, we talk about phygital format, where we have physical programs going on along with some people joining digitally. So suppose if I am delivering a lecture here and it is reaching to you, basically I'm present here physically delivering my lecture, but I'm reaching you digitally. So this is nothing but due to this advanced technology wherein we are trying to telecast this lecture and reaching to the masses by the way of these live lectures. So it is nothing but a kind of revolution. Likewise, business is also supposed to be present on all platforms, be it digital, be it physical. So we have to, witness. We are witnessing, and we have to accept these changes. And business is, of course, supposed to accept all these changes. And if business is doing so, how can finance be devoid of it? So as a person of accounting and finance, we have to actually accept these changes and try to find what best we can do out of the available information in terms of financial statements, our balance sheet, our income statement, and all other supporting statements and documents which we are using or publishing in the area of accounting and finance. So the fundamental shift is basically taking place in how the global production and supply network operates through ongoing automation of traditional manufacturing and industrial practices by using modern smart technology, large-scale machine-to-machine communication, which is also known as M2M. We were talking about B2B, B2C, business to business, business to customer. Now we talk about M2M, that is machine-to-machine communication. And the Internet of Things, IoT, which is very much which is very much into the the use of the business. So we talk about these technologies, modern smart technologies, M2M communication. And after this 4.0, now people have started talking about, since it's been 7 years, more than 7 years, we started talking about Industry 4.0. Some countries are talking about Industry 5.0 also, and this concept is relatively new. And very much used by the European Union industry. They talk about a vision of industry which aims beyond efficiency and productivity as the sole goals and reinforces the role and the contribution of industry to the society, which means they talk increasingly about being responsible, talking about the society, and when a person, a human being and machine both are working together, how to maintain the cohesiveness, the coexistence of both. Industry 5.0 is worried about that. Its point of attention is that we should not think that technology is going to replace people. There is always a need of a person behind the machine. There is always a man behind machine. When I say man, I'm not discounting the relevance of female staff. Basically, man indicates here about the person. So there is a person behind. There is at least a person behind every machine. So if machine is working, there is a person who is handling that. And Industry 5.0 basically talks about the coexistence of both, and it places the well-being of the workers at the center of production process, and they are basically using new technologies to offer prosperity beyond jobs and growth while respecting the production limits of the planet. So they talk about the planet, they talk about the people, they talk about the process, and it basically complements. It is not competitive to Industry 4.0, it is complementing the Industry 4.0 approach by specifically putting research and innovation at the service of transition to a sustainable, human-centric and resilient industry. They talk about the resilience, they talk about sustainability, they talk about human-centricness. This is what is there into Industry 5.0. So my purpose behind introducing this very concept of Industry 4.0 and 5.0 was just to make you aware that with the emergence of this kind of approach and change which industry is witnessing, we are supposed to gear up, and we are supposed to muster our strength to analyze the financial statements from a different perspective, and solution to that is basically analytics. So time belongs to analytics. Nowadays, whenever you are joining you are appearing in any of the interviews of corporate entities, they talk about your say into analytics. Even into teaching, we are being asked, what is your say in the area of financial analytics as a person of accounting and finance. So we have to justify, we have to be relevant in the marketplace, and staying relevant in the market of accounting and finance requires us to have this knowledge of financial analytics, which we are going to discuss here. So what kind of transformation we are witnessing here is basically it is brought about by the opportunity or necessity. It is basically the need of the hour. Nobody is imposing us to go for it. I'll tell you why this analytics is required. Because we have a span of control. We cannot have control over enormous data. Now, there is a difference between data and information. I have access to, say, 2000 pages of a document. But what inference am I able to draw out of it? That is something which is very much important. And that too in a time-effective manner. Suppose I take a document of 2000 pages and say that I will read it in 2 or 3 months. So by the time I draw inferences out of it and inform my management, my top management, that this is a decision you have to take, by that time that entire scenario changes. So we have to be a little quick, or you can say we have to take our decision on real-time basis, side by side, hand in hand, because my customer is expecting a response on real-time basis. The customer's real time is 12 a.m. in the night, and we feel that we'll be opening our office at 10 a.m. in the morning and will answer after 7 days. With that approach, we cannot survive. Just like in case of banking services, we are witnessing that there is a real-time gross settlement. There is a real-time service by the ATMs. Somebody is in need of money, at 1 a.m. in the night, approaching to the ATM, withdrawing cash. So that is something which is now a very normal thing. 15-20 years back, it was basically a dream. If somebody had to withdraw money from the bank, they used to wait for banks to open, and that too, within that too, there was an operational time of banks, that bank will make transaction in this time duration only, and people used to wait. But now the entire scenario has changed. So if everything is changing, why not finance? So analytics is basically an answer to the rapid changes which we are witnessing with the emergence of Industry 4.2 and 5.0. And here the firm is adopting a new business model which is enabled by analytics. And analytics are basically a competitive requirement. We need to understand this. If somebody is saying that, no, why to run after analytics? I'm happy with my financial statement analysis. I'm happy with my vertical, horizontal and multi-dimensional analysis. I don't need analytics. Then of course we are committing a mistake. It's a competitive requirement. Your competitors are doing so. Information is power. So if you are not powerful, if you are not taking informed decisions, of course your decisions are going to face the failures. And the cost of failure is very high. So much so that even it can cause your survival. It can cost your survival. It can take your company out of the market. So analytics are basically a competitive requirement. If we all believe this, then of course we'll learn how to go for it. And I'll tell you the kind of difference you will find there. And we can show that with a click of mouse you can find you can draw the inferences, you can find system generated reports, you can find system generated cyber footprints of your customers, the what kind of expectations they have, and the same is in case of finance also. So my discussion will focus or confine to the financial analytics only. So conditions which are leading to analytics based organizations that we need to understand. What are those conditions which are leading us towards analytic based organization? That is, first of all, the nature of industry, which is rampantly changing. The business format is changing. It has changed. Seizing the opportunity, there is an opportunity, you want to capture that, and for that you need to go for analytics. You have to respond to a problem. There is a problem and you have to respond. I would take a very good example for this. During this pandemic of COVID-19, there was a situation of reverse migration. Lot of people working in Delhi and Mumbai, they were migrating to the other states due to loss of employment opportunities. And at that time, one particular state, I won't name that state, I'll just give you an example and you can understand. I would hint and you can understand, because it's not at all a political discussion here. We are talking about a situation where a particular state is trying to absorb their people, those who are migrating reversely from their place of employment to their place of origin. And their technology came to their rescue. They started doing skill mapping, that those who are coming back to us, if we have their skill mapping done, if we have that shared data, that out of say 3.2 million people, how many people are capable of contributing towards construction industry, how many of them are skilled, how many of them are semi-skilled or unskilled, then it is quite easy for us to provide employment opportunity to them. Nowadays, with this jam trinity, Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile, it is quite easy for government to pass on the benefit of benefit directly to the beneficiaries, what they call as direct benefit transfer, DBT. So this direct benefit transfer scheme is successful only because of analytics based institutions. So even the government organizations, they are supposed to follow this power of analytics, and this power of analytics is leading towards the successful implementation of different schemes, not only in corporate entities but also the government organizations. So responding to a problem is also a reason which is leading to analytic based organizations. If we talk about the grocery business, what is happening? The kind of delivery, the robust delivery system we have now in place, that you are placing an order, you are sitting within the comforts of your home and you are finding your goods delivered to you. That too of desired quality. You have an option to give a feedback. Somebody is there to listen. So basically what is happening? There is no person sitting there to reply. You are talking to a chatbot. I mean, you are getting a reply online. The system is, and that is the beauty of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Systems are getting very complex, and to tackle these complex problems and provide individualized solutions also, we need analytics. Value of interactions with each customer is very high. If these companies are going to hire employees for taking care of the problems of customers, of course the cost is going to be very high. So much so that it can outweigh the benefit which they are getting from a customer. So that is also a reason, because our systems are getting very complex. There is a considerable interaction with each customer. You need a significant quantum of discussion with your customer. Your products and services are organized around the needs of individual customers. You are offering customized solutions. For that also we need the technology with us. So this is basically a background of why do we need analytics in general. Up till now I haven't talked about financial analytics, but the question comes, why financial analytics? Why analytics in finance? The way to conduct financial analysis is changing very fast. The speed of change is very high. And in the last 2 decades, if we look, we find that companies generally have undergone an intense process of computerization initiated by the field of accounting. And it is two-way, not only by the companies, but also it is required by the filing authorities. if we talk about the income tax filing, if we talk about the GST filing, indirect tax filing, if we talk about the filing with the ROCs, Registrar of Companies, filing your financial statements. So all these they require some amount of technology, and that is why even the government agencies, the authorities, they are able to reproduce the data which you are uploading. So you are simply filling at one point at one place, and that data can be used by the government entities or even by you in several formats. According to the user of the data, the different interface can be created, and that person will have the access to that portion of data only. I'm basically a management accountant. I'm concerned with the financial performance of my company. I don't want to read the director's report. I don't want to read the report of auditor. I don't want to read the report of my managing director. What happened in the AGM, I don't want to know. I'm just interested in knowing that what has been the performance of the company and what is the future prospect in terms of numerical values. So I can have the access to that quantified data. That is the beauty of analytics. That is the power of analytics, what you call. So today they are producing much more than ever before, which need to be analyzed from both finance and investment, as well as perspectives of data analytics and advanced analytics. Gone are the days when we used to talk about that balance sheet must be confined to a sheet. It should not run into annexures. Now we have a balance sheet which is running into annexures, which is very lengthy in terms of size. So how to draw inferences out of that balance sheet? The answer is the analytics. We have data analytics, and in the field of analytics we are going a step ahead. We talk about advanced analytics nowadays. So what are the key changes? Of course, the connectivity, emergence of surprisingly new business models. We are witnessing nowadays those business models or formats which we could never ever think of, that this kind of service can also be there. This can also be a business model. This can also be a service which we can avail. So that, and it is only possible because of connectivity. I'm sitting at my place, I need to hire a taxi. This is a very popular example, that is why I'm quoting. There are a number of other examples. I need to hire a taxi service, and 10-15 years back when we used to go to US, we were finding this cab service at your doorstep to be very innovative, that somebody is having access to my location, and wherever I'm standing, my taxi is reaching exactly at the same place. And now it is a very common thing in our country also. So the connectivity is basically the major change which I would like to highlight here, that emergence of surprisingly new business model is because of connectivity. Because we have shared data, we can connect to the business people directly, and that is cost effective also for both, not only for producers but also for customers. If you nowadays, whenever we visit to a shop and ask for the rate, that online the price is this much and offline you are charging this much, the business people, they say that don't compare the online prices with that of offline. So why will I pay higher amount? Why will I visit to a shop for paying higher amount if I am getting something at a lower cost? So the connectivity is something which is causing all these changes. Serving varied audiences on real-time basis is another change, and of course the next one is an unprecedented scalability in the history, because you are having the scalable business now, and further the volume of data has grown in size and complexity. So you have data, but do we have information? There is a difference between data and information. Volume of data is increasing tremendously. So if we have a huge volume of data, how to make meaningful decisions, how to get meaningful advice from the data, that is something which is very important. So the question comes, what is the difference between the traditional financial analysis and advanced analytics techniques? The basic difference, if you ask me, I would say that financial analysis is basically governed by the well established and widespread analysis methods. They have different methods, like we have already discussed in the chapter of management accounting, where we were talking about vertical analysis, horizontal analysis, multi-dimensional analysis. So those are well established and widespread analysis methods. And to say that whether or not a company is interested for business or investment is basically a task which is often based on the analysis of past accounting, or what you say as the key indicators, the data which is available. So based on past information, we are going to take a future decision. So whatever has happened in the past, we have this hope that the same trend shall continue and it is going to be repeated in the future. But with the emergence of COVID-19, all calculations, they were basically confined to the files only, and they all became a futile exercise for all the corporate entities. Because it never happened in the past. So if that is the scenario, that something like this pandemic of COVID-19, which never ever happened in the past, and if it comes to us, how to deal with that? We talk about the new normal. We don't say it is abnormal. We talk about the new normal. So if we have another new normal, how to deal with that? So remember, here comes the role of analytics, and each analyst has specific criteria to evaluate the economic and financial feasibility of new investments. Basically, they have to serve both the corporate finance and personal finance. So data analytics methods are basically used to automate and optimize financial decisions according to methods that are already used in this area. So we are not going to replace those methods which are being used. Rather, these methods are going to be automated, and they are going to find out the optimum solution out of that data which is available to us. So while using advanced analytics techniques to incorporate machine learning and artificial intelligence, which is known as AI and ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning, these algorithms are basically used for predictions in an innovative and yet unexplored way. So these algorithms are going to be used. I would tell you in the next lecture of mine the way Altman Z-score has found an algorithm. Likewise, we can also find some other algorithm and make predictions for innovative decisions which my business is going to take. So this is what will generate a great competitive advantage for companies, and for that the business analytics is there. So in brief, I told you about the background of business analytics in general and also the financial analytics. In the next lecture of mine, I'll tell you in detail what is data analytics, what is data, what is information, and what is the difference between traditional financial among traditional financial analysis, data analytics, and advanced data analytics. I hope you must have got a better understanding of this what you call as financial analytics in specific and business analytics in general with this lecture of mine. I hope you must have enjoyed my today's lecture. Thank you so much.